Hey guys. Hey guys, so we're back finally. It's been a while. I haven't seen you guys. If you haven't heard my voice or if you haven't met me, I am Sleepy Celestial. I started my channel back in 2014, but I got more into it. I would say 2020 going to 2021 and now at the end of 2020. So you're looking at roughly 3 years now. I'm actually been a YouTuber. Um, there's so much that I feel as if we should talk about, um, especially when it comes to some important matters that is going on around the world. I feel as if it's very important for us to talk about things like this because, if you know anyone that has been affected by something like this, I think it's always easier to like speak out because you never know. And it's always good to know those symptoms to reach out and to understand what has been, plaguing our society for this stage in our society. So the topic for tonight is a very heavy topic. Um, it was roaming in my head since I would say since September. From September to everything that has happened throughout the summer, I feel as if this was not an easy video for me to even be making, but I took the courage to put myself out there to be one of those front runners to really, hammer home a topic like this that needs to be discussed. So, mental health is something that has us right now. With people causing, if you are a kid from younger age, this video is not going to be for you. Or if you see this live, I already put the warning notification so that way you would know that this is a very sensitive topic because that's something I wouldn't cover as much unless I don't have that much information on it. So like I said, mental health is the topic for tonight, and we're still in season 2 of the podcast. Now that I'm done with the semester and I won't be back until the 17th. It was very good that to come back like this. As you guys can see, there's a new background. We're changing a lot of things up for the upcoming track and field and all these things. There's so many things that I'm going to be talking about in our next live, which will be happening either tomorrow or, I think it's going to be tomorrow. It's to reflect on everything that this year has taught us. And I think good or bad, I think it's always important to discuss those things. Um, Most importantly, like I said, I think this year, 2022, is the year that will go down for me as probably the most important year when it comes to knowing what's right in your life, of who is plaguing your life and who is adding to your life. What I mean by that, those two factors could also play a big factor in someone's mental health, mental psyche, circle of insanity, and how they operate day to day life. Um, like I said, mental health. It's a topic that at first we didn't really have a name for it because mental health, if you think about it, mental health has been here for such a long time that it's just we never had a name for it. If you go back to all the way up to you know World War I, or even longer than that, post-traumatic stress disorder. You had a lot of people coming back from the war, and just the sound of just noise will tick them off, or you know, any clothes, like it becomes a phobia, and from phobia it becomes a scare that you feel as if you're trapped. And mental health is a it's a it's a disease. It's a mental disease that traps people, that if you as a friend or a loved one to literally look at the sinuses, and you could prevent mental health from happening in your family. I think that's something that I think is very important for us to discuss, because normally you would not know until something tragic happens. If you see someone, like I always say, my channel is not just there to like make funny videos. It always comes back to something like this, something that I think a lot of people would be very interested in. And I think because this is still kind of new, people are still learning and understanding what mental health really is. And I'm gonna read some topic symptoms that you might see of mental health person. So an example of signs or symptoms include: if you're like feeling very down, or you feel sad and down, like it's okay to feel emotions, but sometimes when the emotion dwells too long, then you have to start creating a boundary and making sure that that doesn't prolong. And if you see that's prolonging, that's one of the signs. So if you have a family member, you haven't checked upon them, and you realize that they have been very sad, or they haven't been feeling themselves, and they've been down a lot. Even goes for friends. If you have, it doesn't take that long to reach out to someone, to just text them, or at least them they could hear your voice. A second thing I want to talk about is confusing thinking, or reducing ability to concentrate. So if you realize that mental health also impact the way you do things, your environment. Let's say if you were going to work and you was very productive, you realize that out of nowhere you don't feel like you're putting the same energy anymore. That could be all symptoms on that, like the lack of fatigue, the lack of excitement on things that you normally used to do that makes you excited. All these things are drawbacks to mental health. Um, Exercise to fear or worry, or extreme feeling of guilt. Sometimes it's a panic attack where you see that people just feel as if someone is either out to get them, or they feel like this huge guilt, like the world is upon their shoulders. And it's like whatever they do, it's like I'm walking to this shadow, and I just feel all these eyes behind my back. And it's like I just feel like that guilt, like that human guilt. I think that's something that we need to discuss about that, and to understand, like, if you see someone come to you and they ask you for an opinion on something, sometimes, yes, sometimes people ask for validations. But if it's someone that that normally don't ask for help, or they're acting kind of strange, even though they're smiling, you need to check up. Because one thing I have learned this year, and on top of that, you will feel like your mood change very high and lows. Like sometimes you're extremely happy, and sometimes you're extremely not. And that's something that we gotta watch out for. And it's very hard to understand. And then the last two ones are: you withdraw from friends and activities. Like if your friends ask you to go out, and you were like, hey, I don't think I could make it. Or sometimes we have excuse because we have things to do in our lives. Our individual process is different. But sometimes when you're not doing anything, and you realize that okay, I texted this person, they didn't pick up. I tried to text them, they didn't pick up. And the last three drawbacks, I would say, if you call someone and they didn't pick up or text them, and you're now feeling a bit worried, if you know where the person lived, their address or anything, try your best to reach out to that person or go to their place and see if they're there. Sometimes a phone call or even a drive to someone's place, you could save them from causing themselves very much harm than something that could be even further than to the truth. I think it's a very sensitive topic that if you see in society now what has happened, um, we saw a lot of it. Like, for an example, one reason why I end up doing this video is that one of the person that used to be in the Ellen show, he passed away due to mental health. He was battling something. We all battle certain demons, but I think we need to get to a point where we need to cope with trying to get help. And sometimes a mental health patient would not see getting help is worthwhile, but you gotta talk that person into it to make sure that they get the help that they need. Because I feel as if, like I said in my message, a fight with mental health should not be done alone, but it should be together. And I think people that shows that we actually care about our family, loved ones, and friends, we need to show that same emotion in any area if you see someone struggling. And I think it's very important that I address that, because sometimes you can have all the friends in the world, but when you're the type of person that you used to check on everybody else, and then you realize that sometimes you go into your own shit, and you can't always call your parents, or you can't always call your siblings. You need to have someone that you're really friends with, that you could be like, hey, I'm not feeling well, and this is what I've been feeling, and should this be lasting longer than it should? And the person, if they don't know that much about certain things, we have phones. I can't stress this enough. We have phones that we could look up anything online, and it doesn't take that long to check something to make sure that that person is okay by looking at certain things and looking at what's causing that. Number one thing in America, as well as in statistics, how it says, is that most mental health patients are men. And as a man myself, I highly recommend, you know, I'm not telling men to be super vulnerable, but I feel that because society has put so much pressure on certain men and how they're supposed to act and all that stuff, and if a man is not protecting his family or providing, he feel like a total loss. And I think everybody could sit there and agree with that. You know, when you used to look on TV, or even any day to day modern relationship, we see that there's now that there's no such thing as like, okay, he's the only person that's working, she's staying. No, men and women cook sometimes, men and women go to work. But some men, the mentality that they have is like they grew up as like their father or mother, how they treated them or told them like, hey, a man of the house have to take care of his kids, wife, and family, and it's basically the whole responsibility on it. But nobody never sit back and asks the man himself like, are you okay? Just checking, because I feel, and that's just my opinion, but when it comes to like those type of programs, I feel as if because women are more access to get them when it comes to those type of, I think it's because some women speak out more than some men when it comes to situation like this. I think is that we need to be at a position to be a bit more vulnerable to get the help, because I think it sucks that we keep so much things in that when it's killing us on the inside, you're not only hurting yourself, but you're hurting the kids that loves you, the wife that loves you, or anybody that you have in your life that truly cares about you, because you're you're doing a sacrifice of sacrificing yourself, thinking that nobody's gonna care. But I'm just here to say that, there are helps out there. There are people that's gonna be interesting to help people. I think next year, like I said, next year is kind of as the year of miracles and sevens, which means if you're already thinking negatively or positively, it will happen. If you're thinking of becoming more successful, next year is the year to do it. It's a lot of energy roaming around the earth right now, and I think we need to find a common ground to have a better understanding of like what do we want as a society when it comes to creating programs that's not going to only benefit one side but all people. Because I even know that even from kids that are in college, you have textbooks, you have books, all these things to study for, and even that could stress you out. Maybe you're the only person in your family going to school, or you're the first of the generation to finish high school and you're heading to college. All these things create pressure, and then when you can't meet those mandates of credit that they set for you, you may seem like a failure, and sometimes being too hard on yourself. And I'm a prime example when I have to say this. Sometimes I feel as if I overstep my energy and doing so much, and sometimes it backfires or sometimes it works. you know I know in life it's all about pushing to get what you need to do, but sometimes I'm learning how to slow down, and I'm asking the same people that's watching this the same way. You need to learn how to forgive yourself. You need to learn how to understand that it's not everything that's your fault. Some things are out of our control, but it's always good to have that extra hand that's going to help us out. I think it's something that um, I would not change, and I think that it's important to have that. Um, Another thing that mental health really affect is sleeping. It deprives you of sleeping. You're overthinking. You're thinking about so many other things that could happen to you. So now you feel as if you're stuck in this box. It becomes from depression to feeling as if like if this becomes too much, you have to take yourself out. And I think anybody that's watching, like I said, knows the feeling of sometimes you lost all hope, even though you feel as if there is a light at the end of the tunnel, but you're so down into the position that you are that it affects you mentally at a point where if the best way to get out of it is to cause yourself more harm. And it's never that option. And I think that going to the extreme to to do harm to yourself, it's gonna plague you even more. And the best way that we can fix these problems is to create more programs in school. That's the number one thing, because I feel as if as much as we graduate, we get all these diplomas, life and school is two different things. And that school doesn't prepare you to mentally handle the world. It just mentally teach you how to operate, work, and all these things. Whereas life sometimes could teach you lessons to survive. Sometimes you ever get this notion where you have to be street smart and book smart at the same time, because you don't want to just, have a episode where, okay, I gotta get this and get this, and but sometimes what you might learn in the book may not work. Life has its loopholes. Life has these different these different interways that you gotta deal with. You know, what you might think that's gonna happen, it never happens, and you have to do the extra mile to get to where you need to be. Life is not a straight path. There are obstacles, and we need to get to the position of understanding that there will always be obstacles so long that those obstacles exist. And you know it's crazy. It's crazy that, like I said, this year has been the year of complete surprises, and that there's a lot of people that has battled and fell to the trap of mental illness. you know and I was looking back, and I was watching this live from this um one of those YouTube figures. But he used to be like on TV and stuff. But he used to do, I think, if you think you could dance. And I remember him automatically, and he was having this conversation on Instagram, and he was mentioning that, how sad it is that the people that has the brightest smiles turn to suffer more. And you even see that in comedy. What the person that makes everybody laugh could be someone that's very depressed, and that they feel as if the best way to cope with that is to be the butt joke, or to be the laughing stock, in order to feel some sort of remorse. And we live in a point now in society is that social media is so flash in our face that I feel as if emotion that makes us human is not fully there anymore. Even me, like when I'm on social media, I'm very mindful of how I post things, of how I do things, because it's like you're posting things indicating that you're gonna get positive energy sometimes. But like I always said, like the world doesn't have somewhat no soul, because it's like they want you to produce, 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 but at the long run, the casualty is you. You're the one that's actually being the downfall, because I feel as if learn how to create a boundary between yourself and social media, because you know social media could be a good thing. The way that social media has created for us, how we could reach out all across the world, and we could know what's happening in 2 minutes in a flash. That's a good thing. you know and that's the best way to speak up. And if you're seeing something being done, I see a lot of people done that, like they re-record something to say this is being done, we need to vote against this and stuff. Like those are good positive things, but at the same time, that could also interpret something different when you see things like that not happening in a bad way, and you see it just flips, and you realize that sometimes when you see things in the news, like the image, you see that one side is saying, oh, let's do this and that, and then the other, what you see is not the full story. So that's why I'm always telling people, like, before you judge anybody's life or anybody's case, get to know the person and have a conversation with them. Because I think a lot of people, the reason why they struggle to even reach out to people is because they feel as if the world doesn't care anyway. Who's gonna miss me if I'm dead or gone? Like literally, that's how someone would think when they're dealing with things like this. They feel as if I'm just one speck of this universe. So if I'm gone, I don't think it would not make any spark. That's a very, very dangerous thought to have, where you feel as if, yeah, whatever happens, happens, but it's not like I'm gonna be missed. But you gotta understand that you have people that the person that stucks with you, the person that knows you and trying their best to understand the situation, help you along the way, should be the person that you should lean on. Even though everything feels so overwhelming now, you gotta understand that those people are here for you, and they care about you. If they didn't care about you, they would not stuck with you along the way. And I think, like I said, it's very important for me to speak about things like that, because I seen a lot this year. And even though I seen that even on YouTube, and I seen that even on some of my platforms, that people will not like you even if they you see them, if you see that you're talking about the positive things. They will feel as if what you're saying is kind of boring. If it was something that I was doing right now, dealing with like you know party and stuff like that, celebrity, then people will get more interested into topics like this. I think the only time people get worried is when things hit close to their corner. Until it doesn't hit their corner, they don't really care. And that's another mentality that I feel as if mental illness people have very strong awareness of who and who don't care, because that's the question they start asking themselves. It's like nobody's checking on me. And then I remember I was listening to this post where um the post says like, people don't check on me, they don't look up on me, they don't check if I'm okay. But the sooner I say I don't have no friends, everybody wanna text you and be like, hey, what's up? Or even let's say if you haven't posted for a long time, the sooner you post something that's going good, everybody's gonna be like, hey, what's up? I knew you could do this. Like, no, like, don't give me the sugarcoat bullshit. Like, if you're a person that you haven't checked on anyone or on me or anyone, but I've been the person that's been constantly trying to bridge connection, you need to cut that person off. Because it goes to show that people will only take from you when you have the energy to give. The sooner you can't produce the energy that they want, they will leave you in the heartbeat and go to the next person. That's what I have learned this year. That's what I've been learning. And I think as you get older, a lot of people that gets older that I'm friends with, I've learned how that, like for an example, people that are born in the 80s, the 70s, um, I would say the 90s, I kind of understand their energy and I appreciate them for that. People that, like I said, people that learn so much pain, you have to learn from what they say and apply it to life. One of my coworkers, which I'm very 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 kind that I met him in this lifetime. When you listen to people that sometimes that are wiser than you and you ask them questions, they're not scared to like share their knowledge with you. That's one thing I have learned. If you're a person, they see that, they see your worth, they see you're not like everybody else, they see that you're willing to listen and not just blabber everything you see. When you become older and you become more understanding of how people operate, you will understand that your words and your listening skills have to be sharper. Because like I said, you could be in your 20s but your energy make it seems like you're living in your um, um, teenage years. You could be in your mid 20s. You will see that your energy is more closer to the 30s, because your mental, especially if life has hurt you so much and so much things that you have learned from people, good and bad, you're not able to make a decision every new decade. Remember, your age changed massively every 10 years. If you were 10 years old, you became 20. If you were 20, you became 30. If you were 30, you became 40. Every set of 10 makes a decade, which means those 10 years how would change you massively. And like I said, you will look back and be like, there's things that I can't do this shit in my 20s. I can't do certain shit like this in my, because even your circle would change depending on the people that shows how much they care. And like I said, when you're gone, and you would realize who truly cares and who hasn't given up on you. Because some people, like I said, they will give up on you on a heartbeat. They will not check on you, even though they see you on social media all the time. They will look at your posts, but for them to be like the first one, be like, "Hey, how's it going? How's your family and friends?" Like, one thing about me, if you learn that about me and you know that about me, if you know me personally, I would check on someone just in case, just because, like, something in your heart as a person that you just feel that, like, am I the only one that's like that, or is it everybody else that's? Because sometimes you feel as if everybody's changing so fast around you, but as the main person in this body, you feel as if everything is going slow. Everything is going slow. Like, you see some of your friends, they graduate, they got married, some of your friends even move. I was just talking that with one of my friends, which she's a very good friend of mine, and she was like, "Hey, I miss you. I miss your sister and friends." And I'm like, I truly appreciate that, and I always kept her in my energy because I'm like, it's kind of sad because, like I said, Christmas and certain holidays I don't really celebrate because, like, for an example, I lost my grandma in 2003, and every December 24th, we have to come together and relive that same memory. It doesn't, this doesn't end for us. And I remember it vividly when this happened. And like I said, we were still young, but we still remember everything that has happened. That's why I'm like, that's why I don't really celebrate Christmas, because, like, it just brings back the same memories for me. I just celebrate Christmas in my way, that I thank God another year's ending, my family's still alive, and that I'm able to share another moment with people that I care about, and friends and family. Nothing more. Like, one thing about me, I'm very simple, but I'm doing so much that I could reach my goal in life to give back so much. Because I feel as if you get to the very top and realize a lot of people forget how hard they work to get there, and now it feels as if they're not relatable anymore. So, like I said, mental health, everything that I have said is something that we should discuss, and how we could change the way we approach people if we actually love them. Because some people, they will not come see you for shit when you're alive, but the sooner they hear you're dead, they would have to take a damn private jet to come see your ass get buried. Or it's a family member that will do that too. They will check to see how you're gonna bury your loved ones, but they will not tell you, okay, what was wrong with them, like what was wrong, like how to help. They don't ask you shit like that. And I feel as if we in a generation now is like, I care but I don't care. That's the type of energy I'm getting for this generation. um it's not even this generation, it's in like majority generations that are like that. And I feel as if we need to get to a point now to check on our loved ones, not just because we're so busy. Some people create an opportunity to be busy so that way they don't have to deal with anybody that they actually love. You could only chase money so far, but a friendship is going to be for a lifetime. Like I tell you, I see friendship first before I see money, because, like like the Lord says, anything that is material of this world, you cannot think about it. You die right now, you cannot go with half of the things that you created. The only thing that you could go with is your soul, the peace of mind that what you left behind and what impact do you have on people, good or bad. Even if, like they always say, you don't have to live for people, but at the same time, you need to have a comfortability that you only have one lifetime to do certain things. There's so many options that you could do to to help people. And I feel sometimes people are not doing the best of their abilities to do that. Like, how come when it comes to a celebrity, when they passed away, everybody want to keep that person in memory, but the sooner is someone that they actually care about, it's like they would take their time to go see that person. They don't even take the energy to go see that person, or even check up on your friends. Like, I tell people like this: I don't care if you're a man or woman. If you're a friend of mine, I'm gonna check up on you regardless. It may sound annoying me checking up on you all the time, but like I said, when you show that you care, it may come as annoying until once you're not there anymore, the person will understand that, damn, that person always, they will not get the same benefit that you used to give out. There's a quality to friendship. If you're not getting the same energy back, leave. And this is very serious because it's like I've seen too many people pass away because they didn't have the right people to check upon them, or it was too late to check upon that person, and now the person is dead. And it's like now everybody want to feel mourning and feel sad. Like, you don't have, you can't be like that, you know. And I think, you know, in the long run, when you look upon, what has been plaguing the society from all these things, you will understand that, what can we do to change, you know this process. Like, what can we do to move forward that this will not happen again? And, if that's something that we should all inspire to do, because I feel as if, like I said, if you know me, like I said, even on social media. Oh yeah, hey Jasmine, you said that. Oh yeah, they are around people who don't make them the best decision. That is so true. That is so true. Like, that's why I'm like, mental health goes so deep than what it is now. Like, if you have the wrong friends surrounding you, you're gonna make wrong decisions. And like I said, that's a topic that I feel as if, because I've been seeing it so much this year, every few minutes that you see, they say, okay, this person has done this on TV, and this, it was like, this was the reason, this was the reason, this was the reason. It became to a point now, I'm like, okay, it's not the guns that's the problem, is where do you stop the person from evolving to get to the point of violence? Because nobody don't sit and ask, okay, was this person bullied? Was this person this? What type of ideologies that he be looking upon online? All these all these things plays a factor of what the person reciprocate to the public. But if the public is not doing their job, this shit's just gonna keep happening. It's gonna keep happening until we get to a point where, do you realize that every year up to what, the pandemic, 2020 was the only year, believe it or not, we never had no mass shooting. And that's kind of shocking to even be saying that, because there's a lot of people that has died in 2020 due to the whole pandemic thing. And the fact that mass shooting was not one of them is shocking. And in the moment we step back outside in 2021, A lot of shit started happening from 2021 to 2022 now. And I feel as if, like I said, our government is not doing enough to prevent certain things. How come we have more internet? We have all these access to gadgets, but nothing is being done with these gadgets. This is what, like, you pay taxes, you do all these things. People put mental health or anything that's dealing with those type of disorders in the back burner. They don't really focus on things that's gonna push to help the society grow. Or if it is, it's very small. It's very minimal. It's like, oh, I did this to help out. Like, what's next? This is what I'm like. If election is really important as it is, as they say it is, how come we've been having the same freaking problems? Like, it doesn't add up to me. It's I feel scared most of the time, to be honest. It's like, if my mom go outside, she goes to the market, or my dad, or even any of my friends, I always check upon them, even though if they're in the highway or anywhere, because it's like I have that fear in the back of my mind. It's like people are just stupid now, and we just gotta accept that shit. That anything could happen at any moment. That's why I tell people life is fucking short. Don't be a people pleaser. Don't please people. If the right people love you, you would know, because that person will check upon you. They will love you, and you may gonna see that as annoying. They will check on you all the time, but that doesn't. I feel as if that's another thing. I feel as if when there's too much positivity, social media or anything that's dealing with the world will move away from that, because it's like that's not what we want. We want the violence. We want the killing. We want this. We want that. But then we're the same people that sits there and talk about how shit is not changing. Like, I always say this: the world embrace crime, killing, and all that stuff. But the sooner we trying to find things to like fix the problem, to have a better understanding in the society of where we live in, then it's like nobody has money, budgets are out the window, nobody has time. It's all these things. I'm like, how come y'all had this for this? But the sooner is the real problem steps in, we can't figure it out. And it's always funny to me is people that are much older making decisions, and they feel as if the decision that they're making is benefiting everyone, but it's actually not. It's actually hurting people more. And that we should have been had health clinics that deals with mental health. It's like now, like, we're begging to have more facilities for things like that. It doesn't we have things for war, we have things for all these other things, but things to better our own people in the country, it seems like that's not the important thing on the list, on the agenda. you know like this year we saw that there was a shortage of baby formulas. There was a shortage on a lot of things, that some kids depend on certain things, and migrants and all these other, there's so many things going on. There's so little that we could take. And I think we need to get to a position where we could sit there and judge ourselves before we judge someone else about what's up here, how they're operating. Because everything that happens has a cause. It doesn't just happen. You know, it could be something just happened, but there's a motive behind that. There's always an alternative motive that, okay, this person just did this. Why do you think they did this? Did this person did something to someone? Or is it they just acting out of, stupid ideologies? Because, there's always one of those things. um it's it's not looking good. Like I said, it's not looking good to the point where, you know, what's exactly we gaining from not helping each other? Like what exactly are we not gaining? Because like I said, you live in a position now is like you help someone, they expect something in return, or they help you, they expect something, instead of like you're helping this person not just because from what I have seen, there's only a human race on this planet. There's animal race, there's all these other type of animal stuff, but it's human race that's on the planet. So we need to show more of care of each other. Like forget the social media, forget all that shit. Like what are you doing to help the next person when it comes to having a situation like this? Because I remember when people said they used to have problems like this, either you get laughed at or it's not true, until now it becomes a more common thing. Like for example, Simone Biles, right, at the 2021 Tokyo Games, because she didn't perform the way she used to, they shung her for that. They was like, I don't understand. Now she's pretending like she don't want to do this anymore. No, there's sometimes pressure that is placed upon you that the world's already about to judge you because you did that one mistake. And I feel as if that's a wrong process and thought to have. You're already about to put this F on someone's life because they didn't perform to the standard that you want. Like the Olympics is, I always say less. I love the Olympics. I would love to be an Olympian one day, which I am still making this dream happen. But at the same time, I need to, you need to protect your mental psyche, because don't think everything that you're seeing on TV, these athletes, the way that they have to prepare themselves, don't think that it doesn't take not only, you know, preparation for your body, but if your mind is not there, you're gonna fuck up. And I always say like dangerously, gymnastics is very dangerous to me. Like to be tumbling and, you know, making all these, you know, things, it's very dangerous. So if you're not very focused to do it, you might break a leg or a bone or something, because it's high speed energy and you're twisting, you're turning, you're jumping, you're doing all these other exercise, you're running. So if none of these things are not up to par in your head already of how you memorize it, you're gonna have issues. And you know, but the fact that this is being addressed now, like more addressed, while there's so many that has lost their lives because of things like this, I feel as if you're a person that you have a bigger channel than me, I feel as if you need to talk about things like this, because don't wait till it's like, you know, your turn and something happen, and don't wait until something happens. You know, it's not gonna help. And you know, it's very depressing, and mental health could be something very depressing as well. You know, sometimes you feel so cornered, you feel as if there's no one you could turn to, and that you feel as if because there's no option for me to turn to anybody, I have the obligation now to turn myself in, basically causing yourself more harm. And if we understand that everybody needs time to process how to deal with different type of stress, like I said, This semester was my toughest semester at a new school, but I did my best to pass at least one class. And things happened, and it brought my energy to very low, but I still managed to get things done because I'm like, I had to go find friends. I had to go find things that's gonna make me laugh again. Because sometimes when you had a serious mindset for so long, you lose track of who you are because you're so focused on getting the job done that you're not finding no enjoyment into anything that you're doing. So now it becomes a chore to hurry up and get this shit done and get back to your regular life. Like when we each step out our homes, we wear a different mask for society to see. Whatever that we're fighting, whatever that we're dealing with, we hide it behind that the first mask because we don't want people to see us struggle and to be vulnerable. And that's another thing a certain man can't live with. The moment society see them vulnerable, society don't applaud them to be vulnerable. They applaud them because they applaud them from laughing instead. And it's like it's fucked up. It's like if a woman came to society and be like, "This is what happened to me," everybody's gonna feel, not that women, not just women have excuse, but it seems as if in society is like mental health takes it more seriously when it happens to one gender instead of everybody should be under that umbrella no matter who you are. If you're dealing with something, society should find ways to help their citizens, not just because, oh, this person is dealing with this. Well, you gotta man up. Like you gotta do something because you know you're not supposed to be doing. No, because the same men that you just say they'll be fine, the moment they go do something, you just shoot them like a dog instead of sitting there with them now and dealing with the problem now and asking them like, what's wrong, what's the process of knowing those type of symptoms. Because instead of the person could be like, I'm not gonna hurt myself, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna hurt a whole group of people. That's dangerous. Instead of sitting there and dealing with the problem regularly. That's why I'm like, even in schools, I would highly recommend they put these alerts at schools. Because, like I said, you have kids that either their parents died and they basically became the parent. And if they have more than 4 or 5 siblings, they have to leave school early. They got to go pick up their kids or siblings, and they have to cook, and then they got to go to work. I was listening to something like that in Jubilee where the teacher was like, this still haunts him still this day, that there was a kid that always come to his class, and one day the kid was like, Professor, I can't do this homework, it's too tiresome, and plus my mind is not there. Instead of the professor sitting there understanding his issue, you just count him as a bad student. When he get to find out what happened, the kid was a son of a veteran. I guess the father died, and now he had to grow up from a kid to an adult so quickly, and now he's taking care of his mom and his other siblings while he's going to school, and then he has to pick up his sibling because the mom, I guess she was disabled or something. So all these things. So the only time that the kid had time to relax is when he got to school and slept like a little bit. So the professor cried and was explaining that on the channel and said that like this still haunts him because it's like you don't know what people are going through at home. So be nice, be vigilant with people because Your expression, your first expression on people, either good or bad, will determine if the person is going to live or die. If you're going to be like everybody else, you're going to be in a group and you're going to be shaming that person, laughing at their situation, then you should not be helping that person at all. Because now you're just doing that shit for prop. Some people, they will help people and then they will take pictures showing that they're helping instead of blindly helping. Sometimes it's better to be known for your works without people knowing, instead of everybody know, okay, this is what this person has done, like, okay, good job. Like, you don't need to flog the good deeds that you have done. Like, you need to understand that, anybody that's gonna be doing something positive, you don't need to be saving people without people seeing that you're saving anybody. And I think, like I said, this year alone has been probably very intense for a lot of people. Some people have lost grandpas, mothers, fathers, siblings, close relatives. Um, I could go on and on. And everybody has a different type of pain that they're fighting right now. So I ask people, listen, you on social media, you haven't checked on someone that you never talked to for a while, don't be an asshole. Check with that person, because, like I said, relationship goes a long way. When you show that you care while everybody else shows that they don't care, when that person gets to the point where they could give back, they will be remembering you because you took them out a dark place or even a dark thought, because it could have been the end of their life. But the fact that you showed them the sign of humanity when we at our most highest peak of positivity to help each other up, you're gonna see how beautiful it is to help someone, especially when dealing with things like that. Because I'm like, I one thing I have learned about me, I may seem corny to people, but the people that knows me knows that I'm very fun to be around. But at the same time, I could meet a completely stranger and we will have the most deepest conversations, and that will lead up to friendship. You know, I like learning. I always tell people this: learning for me is a win-win, because it's like, to learn other things, to understand people's point of view is easier said than done. That way you know how to understand people in a certain level, instead of be like, I don't think this person will have time. Like, you don't know. That's why it's easier to check on people, because you don't know what's going on with them. So the moment you show that you can't check on people, then you just become like everybody else. You were just there for the opportunity of what the person was offering, instead of being their actual friend. Like I said, a friendship sometimes, to me, it's not just about take or leave. If you can't swap energy, or if I help you, you help me type of energy, then it's not gonna work, because everybody's there to teach you something on this planet. And I think with all this that has happened this year, um, we need to have conversation like these more, and how we could fix these things in our society. Like, how do we apply these type of talks? Because sometimes I feel that people are scared to talk about even the most sensitive things now, because they feel like they're gonna hurt somebody. I'm like, if it's gonna help everybody, you should talk about it, because you can't quickly get mad at someone if they don't know something. But then again, that's the society we live in now. We live in a streaming world that, when it comes to Negativity, I feel as if negativity has been streamed faster than positivity sometimes. And we need to check ourselves and check our operation of how do you know this is going to be happening? How do you know? Because nobody's a superhero. Nobody's going to be like, let me have an x-ray vision so I could see what's going like. I know that doesn't exist. But at the same time, like I said, if you have the person's contact number, you have their you have their social media, you have anything that they have that you could reach out to them. Why are you not doing that? And I feel as if it's sometimes people make so many excuses to not help someone else. That shit becomes corny to me. Because it's like you have all the tools to help out. You just deciding not to. And like I said, one thing about me, if I don't hear from someone, two two 2 months is my max. If I don't hear from someone, I'm gonna check up on your ass to be like, hey, what's up? I know I haven't heard from you. I'm just checking on your friends and family if they're okay, because you don't want to be like, oh, I wish I had time to speak to that person, and then now that person is fucking dead. That's when you want to be like, oh damn, I wish I could have like. You hear the how you said it. You wish you could have checked. But all this time you were here, you didn't want to check. Or you busy yourself from checking on someone. And we need to be better. I think we need to be much, much better. Because it's not helping anybody if you're not going to be better version of yourself. Um, it's it's a long road for us to get to this point, but the fact that we're getting there, I think it's important to get there. We have a long way to go. We have such a long way to go, but soon and hopefully soon we should get there. And I think we are going to get there. But we need time to understand each other to get there. If you really understand the power of unity, of understanding people and treating people with respect and dignity and reaching out to them, let's go back to days that you help someone and eventually the energy karma will come back to you as well. Positive karma. You do right by me, this will happen. It exists. It's just that people are so plagued with negative people in their life. When they see a good deal, they don't want to take it. That's just how it is. So I'm asking this today. What are you guys gonna do different this year that's coming up? Because everybody makes New Year's revolutions like this year is gonna be a new me. I'm gonna do this and that. But half of the shit that you say you're gonna do, you didn't even do them. Even I sometimes don't stick with the same shit that I said I was gonna do. Things change, but I try my best to do them. So I ask myself this: for mental health and for anybody that is struggling with any sort of mental problem when it comes to coping with it, sadness, depression, loneliness. Because some of you may have fans and these fans never check up on you. You know, all these things plays a factor. All these things plays a factor. And I feel as if we can get to a point of checking upon those symptoms. And I feel as if all schools should have that, in the high school, middle schools, all the way up to college, or even work. Because some people, they work 9 to 5s, they work even longer than that, and they never have people that could be like, let me check up on you. How's your? Because everybody wants you to work. They want you to do this. They want you to do that. But nobody don't stand back. Be like, damn, this is too much. Like, what is this person thinking? Or how is this person? Like, nobody thinks about those things. They don't really think about. Even if I have people working for me, I have a mindset that, if to me to be a good boss, I need to I need to focus on my workers. If you focus on the workers, so long they're good, their families protected, you will realize that people will do the most extraordinary things for you when you see that they see that you see their importance. You could be a boss and you don't have good relationship with your clients or with your workers. You have to learn how to know your limits, but understand you could step over them if you're trying to help someone out. Like that worker that never showed up. Do you know why they don't show up? Do you know what they're dealing with? Like, you have to check on these things. And I think it's very important we do that. It's very, very important we do that. If we're trying to move out of a society, we don't want to be a society we get to a point where we're numb by violence. Which means like, another shooting, another this. Okay, that happens all the time. Then society becomes numb. Like, we don't have emotions. We don't have emotions, and it's getting to a point. It's becoming very dangerous how we perceive society. Society, the way it's being perceived now, is like we don't care, and there's nothing we could do about it. But it's we can do things about it. It's just that we don't want to put the energy in it until something has to deal with us. That's when we put the energy to do it. Um, like I said, this episode of this podcast was very, very important for me to do. Um, like I said, I will also put a phone number on there. If you have anybody that you know that is dealing from depression or even mental illness, um, let me see if I could find it. I'm gonna find it right now. So the mental health emergency counseling, I will leave the phone number here on my chat so anybody could copy it. It's based counseling. If you see anybody dealing with things, you could always reach out that number, and you know, I hope that these things will assist you because, like I said, it's very important to me that people get the help that they need because you don't want to get to a point in life and you don't have like missteps. You know, it's very important to put these things into configuration. Um, but yeah, I like I said, I pray that so I sent this on the chat so you guys could get it. A few minutes, it's supposed to be loading soon, but yeah, so there it is. So if anybody that you know that is battling mental health or they need like some sort of counseling, you guys could hit this number, which is 856-266-4983. And please don't be scared to reach out. There are people that's there to help you out, and it could be family, individuals, or any patients that that needs help with that. You should check up on them. Or if you see any symptoms, you could look it up, mental health symptoms, and you realize the different symptoms, and you've been talking to this person, and you realize that they've been a bit off, and you've been checking on them, and you realize things are not adding up. Don't be scared to call this number and reach out, because you could explain to them this is what this person is feeling, or even look up on their social media. What do they post? Do they feel some dread? Do they feel kind of loneliness? All these factors, those are some pointers that you should check upon to see, you know, if that's something that we need to address. This is not going to be the last time of me making a video like this. I will be back to talk about this even further in the future. But this is something that I felt as if, you know, it's important for me to address, because, like I said, anybody that comes on my channel, like I always say, I welcome anybody with open arms. I think that everybody has something to teach you, and that you're able to you're able to have the best connections with people when you get to understand them. And I think I value that so much, So I ask everyone, if you dealing with anything, somebody's dealing with something, don't be scared to reach out. I know that it sometimes can be scary to be in people's privacy, but if you really care about that person, that's that tough love. You don't want that person one day you hear in the morning, oh, so and so passed away due to this or that. And you're gonna feel bad because it's like, I didn't have time to save this person, and I could have done something. But the fact that I couldn't take those precautions to do something, then that's what led to that. Um, we will be back, like I said, in a couple of, maybe hours, maybe tomorrow. I will make another live, but this live will be something fun. We will cover all the things that happened this year, and even anime. So if you guys like things like that, I think to bring some laughter, because like I said, it has been a very dreadful kind of year. A lot of people has passed away. I also want to do some honorable mention to Jasmine and anybody that has been watching this. I appreciate that. Another thing is, I just got the news that the legendary Pele passed away. So sadly news about that, and I just want to say, very sad. I pray that he has a, um, you know, amazing support family that cares about him. He's a legend in the football soccer world, and I think he will be greatly missed. And I think we have lost so many heavy hitter legends this year that we need to have like a moment of silence right now, and we'll get back to it. Thank you. So I really wanted to pay respect to most of the people that has passed away this year that couldn't come with us in 2023. Um, it's very important to pay respect to your dead loved ones, or anybody that you know that have lost someone. So thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this special. I hope I didn't rant too much. But thank you guys. I hope that you guys get something out of this video. Um, I will see if I could leave a website on there as well, so you guys could get that. So let me see if I could find it. So So I must keep that here. I'm gonna send it here so you guys can have a copy of that as well. So you guys can always check on this live and you will see it on there. So it's mentalhealth.org. So you could always check upon, what has been, going on, and that, if you need to know more that has been happening, I think it's there for people to see it. And always go online, check, like I said, look at the symptoms, look at the people that you've been checking on, what's been going on with them. If you feel any type of things that you feel that's kind of off, you have the contact number, you also have the email. Don't be scared to approach those things, because like I said, privacy and love and protection is something that I do first, and friendship, those are the most important things for me, because I feel as if to love someone is to care about them at a point where you know when they're in danger, instead of just be like, yeah, love becomes so vaguely used now in society. Like, anybody could say I love you, but they don't really mean that shit, you know. So I want to really specify that, you know. But thank you guys so much for sticking with me. I truly appreciate this. I really wanted to make this video. Um, I hope you guys learned something from it. Um, I hope I gave you guys some pointers of where to check. And I am signing out. This is not the last time I'm making the live, because we have, like, I think 3 episodes coming soon. We have one tomorrow, or 2 episodes. We have a morning episode. And we have the afternoon episode tomorrow. So Jasmine, if you're interested, I will be doing the unboxing of the Renaissance. So if you're interested in that, you could come in at the live and we could talk about it if that's something that you're interested in. We might do a Zoom one if that's something you want to do. But let me know. But we have so much coming. And I also have a project that I'm going to be releasing soon, which I want to specify. It is Act 3 of my Genesis project. So I can't wait to see you guys on that as well. It should be, we'll have a short trailer tomorrow, and then I think I will release it on the 31st, or right in between nighttime. So check that out. It's going to be coming out soon. But thank you guys so much. I am truly honored to have you guys again at my Sleepy Celestial podcast. I hope you guys like the new background. We have so much that's about to happen this year. And 2023 is going to be a wonderful year. I could just feel it. I am praying on it. I am making dreams come true for this upcoming year. And I thank you guys. Make sure, as always, if you're interested, share my channel. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And I cannot wait to see you guys in the next video.